Good morning, bloggers. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're as excited as I am to talk about point number 3 on the Bangin' blog post checklist, which is deciding on a post purpose. So, today we are going to talk about writing your blog posts with a goal in mind. So, it's not the existential type of purpose, like who am I? Why am I here? Although we can totally go down that rabbit hole if you guys want to, I'm in. But no, we need to be writing blog posts with a goal every single time. I used to just kind of meander and write whatever blog post popped into my mind, and I never really thought about how they were going to take me from point A to B in my business, right? Because your blog is there to serve your business. It's not the business. It's there to act as a vehicle to get you where you want to go in your business. And each blog post should be, a spoke on one of the wheels, right? It should be helping to get you there. So let's see if I can pull up the chat. This is like the last technology hurdle I'm having is I can't seem to pull up my chat. Okay, there we go. Hey, there's a lot of you here already. Hi, Annie, Crystal, Jennifer. Hi. Okay, I can see you guys. Great. All right, so let's talk about why deciding on your goal, your blog post purpose is important. Your time is limited. First of all, we are all limited for time, even when we have unexpected tons of free time, like in Corona. We just fill it up with more stuff, right? and so we're just always limited for time. Many of us are mothers. Many of us are working mothers. We have side hustles, obviously. So your time is limited and you don't want to waste it writing a blog post for no reason. And the second reason that this is super important is because if you keep writing blog posts for no reason that are getting you nowhere, it can lead to burnout. So, blog posts that you have a very specific goal for and you meet that goal and then it works, that can be very, very motivating. Blog posts that don't get you anywhere and no one reads them, that can be very demotivating and it can lead to burnout. So, those are the two reasons that we want you to always have a blog post goal in mind when you are writing. And I always ask myself two questions to kind of define what my goal is. One, I ask myself, what transformation is my audience going to see by spending their limited time reading my post? So our audiences are just as strapped for time as we are. We don't want to be wasting their time and we want to offer them some sort of transformation. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. The word transformation gets thrown around a lot in the blogging world. And really every post should offer your readers some sort of transformation. It's going to benefit their life in some way. That's what's in it for them. The second part of that, the flip side, is what's in it for you. What's in it for you as the author? There is nothing wrong with considering yourself as well. You cannot serve them if you're not also serving yourself, right? Because eventually you will run out of, time, money, motivation, whatever. So I think it's 100% okay to take care of your audience and at the same time, take care of yourself. So you need to ask yourself, what action do you want the reader to take as a result of reading your post that will grow your blogging business? So in one way or another, it needs to contribute to the growth of your business. And you want them to take an action to do that. So an example of a post purpose would be email subscribers, right? Selling something, visibility, just getting out there and being seen by lots of people, like making yourself known in your space. or of course, SEO and ranking in search engines. I'm going to kind of go through each one of those and give you examples of how you would write a blog post tailored to that goal. So the first one, to collect emails, to get email subscriptions. there's a million ways you could do this in a post, but here's a couple that have worked really well for me. One, you can write about your experience using your freebie. So I have a blog post about using well, at the time it was a freebie, the blog writing challenge that you guys took. That originally started as a freebie, but before it was a freebie, I created it for myself because I wasn't writing any blog posts. So then the blog writing challenge was born, and it was born for me. I used it. And then I wrote a blog post about it after I had turned it into a freebie. I wrote a blog post about how well it worked for me, how it solved all my pain points, right? Another way to do it would be to heavily incorporate your freebie all throughout the post and in an organic fashion. So an example would be, let's go back to the throat chakra example we were using yesterday. So let's say we are writing a blog post about throat chakras, and we want to give them 3 ways to clear your throat chakra. Each header could be a way to clear your throat chakra, and each header, so you're offering 3, right, could come up with a freebie to help them do that. So you could say like, throat chakra clearing method number 1, affirmations. And then you could write about the power of using affirmations to clear your throat chakra, and then also offer them an affirmations like list as a freebie. And then the next one could be meditations, right? And then maybe you could offer them a guided meditation as a freebie. So in that way, you're not just being like, it's organic. They're related to one another. You're not just talking about something totally different and then coming in out of left field and being like, hey, here's my freebie. It's not related to this, but you should sign up. you know? So she's doing that. Yes. And girl, when you do, I would love to read that. Yeah. Not that my throat chakra needs opening, obviously, but I would still love to read it. Okay. So, and then to sell something. So I guess technically you would be writing copy, and not a blog post. I don't know. That's where it gets kind of murky. Copywriting is when you sell something. So what I would do if I'm specifically trying to sell something in a blog post, each header could be a pain point. So, it could be like 5 reasons you always lose your other sock in the dryer, and 5 products to solve it, or something like that. I don't know. That's really weird. Did you guys know I blog in my laundry room? This is my laundry room. It's giant. It's like a utility den. Anyway, so I'm staring at a pile of laundry. That's where that came from. Anyway, so I would make each header a pain point. And then if you are trying to sell one product, then on each paragraph, so the subsequent, body of text that follows your header is going to be all about how that product solves that pain point and how it's really easy to do it, right? And then, or you could do multiple products. You could offer multiple product solutions to, one big topic, one big, like umbrella problem. And then each header could have a different pain point and a different solution. And then the next one is visibility. So sometimes Melissa says, I was wondering if you were in a large closet. That answers that. Yep. Nope. I'm in my giant laundry room. I turned the camera around in one of my Instagram posts and exposed my dirty ass laundry room. It's not all glamorous, guys. Can't all be glam over here. Okay, visibility. So this is going to be a post where you're being like super polarizing. You're boasting an unpopular opinion or a really topical opinion. And I have an example of how I did just this not too long ago. I did it with Pinterest. So this is something that you're not necessarily going to rank for in Google. You might eventually, if you could get that double whammy going, that'd be great. But so at the very beginning of the Corona crisis, I don't know if you guys remember, but everything in the blogging groups was like, should I keep blogging during this? I feel bad for blogging during this. Like there was a lot of uncertainty around whether or not we should keep going as bloggers when the whole world's falling apart. And I can understand that. But for me, it was a very strong, of course we should keep going. Like that was my opinion. And I felt very, very called to write this post that had absolutely no keyword, right? It wasn't to get subscribers. I didn't have a freebie to go along with this. And I obviously wasn't selling anything. I didn't have a product to go along with this. It was just to get this opinion out there that I felt could help a lot of people. And I knew it was one, topical, and two, might be kind of polarizing. And I used Pinterest to get that out there. So if you have a topic like this that doesn't necessarily have a keyword, but it's so topical and or polarizing that if you put it out there on Pinterest, people are going to click on it, that can't hurt, right? That's visibility. That's you showing up in your space. You're getting some notoriety. People are becoming familiar with you. They might stay on your site, especially you should be interlinking your blog posts, which actually is coming up. It'll be day 18. So that'll be on week 3. Interlinking your blog posts, they might stay, browse your site, go to other blog posts. Eventually, maybe they will end up subbing to your email list. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing, being visible in your space. It's a good thing. It's kind of like Pinterest. How when I don't know if you've guys have used a lot of infographics, but infographics don't get a whole lot of click-throughs, but they get a lot of repins. They get saved like crazy. But people don't click through to your website because the information's already right there in front of them, but you're getting visibility. You're getting repins, which makes you favorable in the eyes of the Pinterest gods, but you're also getting known in your space. And that's good, okay? Okay, the fourth one is SEO, ranking in search engines. Of course, we talk about this almost every single day. You just want to make sure, if this is your goal for this post, is to rank in search engines, you want to make sure that you are SEOing correctly. You want to make sure you're doing your on-page SEO correctly. And if you are following my blog post checklist, that is included in the steps in the checklist, in various steps. So if you follow the blog post checklist, you will be on page SEOing. You also want to make sure that you are doing your keyword research that we talked about yesterday, that you are outvaluing your competition. You want to outright and outvalue them, right? You want to be the best resource on that topic and move up to the top of the search engines. And of course, you always want, when they get there, so when let's say you get on the #1 position and you're getting lots of clicks through to your website, again, you're going to want to have some sort of secondary purpose for the post. Do you want them to opt in? Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to share because your opinion is so polarizing and out there? So SEO, yes, is a purpose, but what are they going to do when they get there? What you don't want to happen, although this is a good problem to have, is to have a post go like crazy viral on Pinterest or get to the top of the search engine and getting tons and tons and tons of clicks, and it's not getting you anywhere. Because then you're just scrambling to try to monetize it or try to get them to opt into something, right? You don't want the scramble. You want it there lying in wait. So when they come, you pounce. No, you guys aren't predators. You're nice people. Okay, good. Jen says she loves these tips. Good. I love giving you guys these tips. So that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the, is anybody else's? Oh, Crystal says the sound's cutting in and out. Is it? I got a new setup after yesterday's live. I went and got a desktop computer I'd been saving up for. So, oh, thanks, Jen. I don't know. You guys let me know if you can hear me. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. That was a super short one. Hey, 16 minutes. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about how to brainstorm sexy headlines. I'm really excited to talk about this. I don't know if you guys are. I think headlines are fascinating. Oh, good. Okay. Jen says she can hear me fine. Yeah, headlines are fascinating. What makes people click is really fascinating. And then it's just really fun to kind of play with them and see. I don't know. Sometimes it surprises you what makes people click and what doesn't, right? So, okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about super sexy headlines. I'm really excited. If you guys have any questions about headlines before we get to tomorrow, you can drop them in the group. I'll open up a thread for that. If you guys are watching on a replay like IGTV or YouTube, get in the Facebook group so you guys can interact with me here and you can have your questions answered. And it's fun in here, right, guys? It's like a party every day. Jen says, ooh, sexy headlines. Hee hee. Yeah, sexy headlines. We're going to get them clicks, baby. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.
That's it for today's edition of Blogging Thoughts with Kelly. Don't forget, if you want your blogging questions answered, you can join the free Facebook group using the description below. Also, feel free to share, follow me, subscribe, like, all the things so we can be blogging besties. Until next time, this is Kelly signing off.